let's just get it started. Welcome to the show. Bass and Bonsai doing another shootout. Part 2, I guess you could call it. We're putting this guy, we're trying to redeem this guy. I came out here Christmas Eve, did a little shootout video. I called it even maybe, and this guy maybe worked better on the smaller baits. Aldebaran MGL 30. That's the JDM version, not the 50 version that's here in the United States. But with this bait I have right here, if you guys remember, right, the Zillion one. So I'm putting the Zillion and this guy back up in a battle today. I'm going to throw this bait again. And then we're bringing the doctor into this. Dr. Frankenstein. Go back and check the other videos if you don't know about Dr. Frankenstein. Awesome little bait from AliExpress. And then we've even got a mega bass bait that's coming into the mix. Just kind of that mid-range. That's what a lot of cranks, almost on the small size, but you'll see a lot of cranks thrown about that size. So, and I call them even. We're going to try to find a true winner today. And I'm throwing the LingL in. Let me try to hold them up real quick here. Oh boy. Let me let that bait drop without, and that's why I kind of set my, I'm always doing weird stuff. That's why I kind of set my tension. I'm not a zero adjuster. So that is a shootout. Now I'm going to put them all on this 803. But we're throwing the LingL right in the middle of this battle. So to start it off, all I'm going to do is I'm going to throw all 3 of these, or 3 baits. I had a 4th, but I think I'm just going to go with 3. So, and I'm going to aim for this bank. I beached this up here, the back of the boat. We're stuck. So the boat's we're not out in open water moving. You're like, oh, that's not accurate. So I'm going to cast at that bank. Now I just made a cast where I hooked that little fish. I was just kind of I'm trying to dial in the brakes on this, and I won't show you all that, but I'm going to get this to where it will work again, because that, if you remember right, if you've seen the Zillion, go back and watch them videos. From day one, I came out, started fishing the Zillion, the number 3 setting, in between 2 and 4, that little dot, number 3, is just, that's where it likes it. All baits, all baits. This one was finicky on me yesterday. I was doing a little Christmas Day, got bored, you know what I'm saying. Found out that it, where I had it set, I needed to tighten the brakes up, trying to throw a 2-gram crappie jig, basically, 1/16 ounce. So now I'm going to try to readjust it with these baits and get it close. And the LingL, it should be already a set and forget it. So anyway, let's go. All right, so let's just get this battle started. Now I was able to go down. Yesterday I had to go all the way to like 3.5 before it would, I could cast that 2-gram. But this, I think this is like a 4-gram bait, the Doctor. So I was able to go to 2.5. And it's just right on the verge. That spool is almost fluffing up. So we're going to just get this battle started. And I'm going to cast the lightest, the middle, and then the heaviest. And then we'll switch to another reel and go from there. So the Doctor, well, he's hung up. That's the only downside to this bait. I like the big hooks, but they will get hung up from time to time. There's a trick to doing that anyway. But all right, let's see. I'm going to cast directly at the bank because I can't hit the bank. Shouldn't be able to hit the bank with any of these combos with this little bait. It's pretty light. And they're a little high. It was fluffing a little bit, but I'm going to give it one more. You see where that's at? I'm going to try to get on there fast. So hopefully having the bank there, that's a good cast. About the same spot. I thought I threw the other one a little higher. So you'd almost have to go back, and these on the waters, it's hard to, I'm not going to really edit it. I don't know. I may edit it and throw each one where you can watch it side by side, but for now I'm not going to mess around with switching rods back and forth. We're going to just jump to this bait, which should definitely go further, should be easier to cast, and we'll get, my rubber bands are falling apart. They can tell you how long it's been since I've used this bait. Look how these hooks have just gotten all jacked. I haven't even checked or looked at this bait in a long time. But I was looking at what made me decide for this battle. It's kind of got the colors that technically should really work. Water conditions like this. Good bait. I just don't use it as much as I used to. Let's see what it does. There it goes. Way out there. I'm going to try that again. I'm going to give it a good zing. Now I could probably turn the brakes down even a little more, technically. Usually when you go lighter, if you're going to throw it harder, sometimes you got to dial the brakes up just a, you know, click or so maybe, or something. It's kind of weird. You'd think you'd loosen them up, but it's kind of the opposite, especially if you're a hard caster. But anyway, my tests are always like a set it and forget it kind of deal. I don't want a finicky reel. I don't want to recommend a finicky reel that you have to, you know, every time you change it, one little, you know, 2 grams difference in the bait, you got to set and monkey with the brakes. I don't want that kind of reel. I'm not going to recommend that kind of reel. It almost, you guys see that? It almost hits the bank. I'd call that 5 foot from the bank maybe. And I'm kind of throwing, well, I guess I could throw directly at the bank would be right here. The bank's probably a little closer to us. So one more cast and then we're going to the big bait, and I'm gonna have to throw down that way. I'm gonna aim for that tree right there. See that? The biggest one. You guys see that? That tree right there kind of looks like a robot with its hands up waving like, don't, danger, we're Will Robinson. Anyway, get off there. That's added weight. Get out of there. All right, final cast for this guy. Nope, not really as far. The wind's kind of, it's actually harder to cast straight there, but it's almost the same distance. Oh, it's shallower. So we're gonna keep throwing like I was, almost at that tree. So we're gonna call that. The other one was probably, you make out that little right where it first makes its cut to the right, straight across from there is where the little bait was. This one's only about 5 foot from the bank, which is a very good, I mean, you know, you fish all day long. This is awesome reel. But we want the best. There can, Highlander series, there can only be one. So we're gonna put this guy on. And we're gonna shoot for the moon. We're gonna shoot for the moon. I should not have to adjust it, but I'll be honest, I had it at 3.5. I was out here playing around with it and I switched that lighter bait to adjust to it. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I think I may have lied. I'm gonna aim first, and if I hit the bank, no big deal. I don't even care for this bait. Red eye shad, I've caught some fish on it, but I mean, it's good bait, don't get me wrong. That's why I'm using it. It's not a big deal if I lose it or if it gets smashed up on the bank. So I'm sure I could probably hit the bank at that tree. So I'm gonna aim for this one and I'm gonna try to cast as hard. I'm gonna try to hit that tree. It probably won't go that far, but it's possibility it could hit the bank. So we're gonna see where it'll go. Get it, get it. Oh, just shy, just to the wind caught it. See that? That's probably about 4 foot from the bank too. And so this will give us it'll give us better measurement. Just casting out into big bodies, open water sucks. Like, I can't even tell. I'll cast one, cast another, and like, well, which one was further? I don't know. You'd almost have to like superimpose the footage together to be able to read it. But this is gonna be able to tell. All right, I'm gonna do another cast. Aim for that, aim for the bank. Nope, got too far off, but the wind caught it. Ooh, I actually cast that way a little. I didn't mean to, the bait took off that way. We almost stuck the bank. That was probably less than a foot from the bank, a little bit to the right of the tree. So I'm gonna call that good. That was a good cast. To beat that cast, we'll have to hit the bank, you know, right by that tree or further down, within a couple foot of the tree. So that'll kind of give you guys a guideline. So we're done with this one. I'll be back. I guess I'll go with the Zillion, then we'll just at the end we'll put the LingL in the mix. Okay. Whew. And just like that, we are switched back out. We've got the Zillion on. Let me make sure I got all the eyes in. Okay. So we're gonna see just how well it can cast this bait. Now, if you remember right, just where that kind of thing first makes its break is where the other Shimano made it. So let's try this guy. Ooh, man, I call that close. I'd have to look at the footage. I would say the Shimano beat it by a foot, but I'm not sure. It's been a while. I ain't gonna lie, I stopped to warm my hands up. Once I got that bait tied on, I warmed my hands up a few minutes. So it's been a few minutes since we saw that. So let me try again. Nope. I don't know. What do you guys say? I say if anything, it's even with this bait, like a 4 gram. Because when I was able to turn that, I was able to turn the Shimano down, the brakes down, and cast this. If you remember right yesterday, that 2 gram video, I had to turn them brakes up like almost, I went from like 2.5 to 3.5 just to be able to cast. So, and that wind caught that when I threw too high. I don't know, unless I look at the footage and really try to nail it down, I'm wanting to say they're very close. Now the LingL, when I hook it up, the LingL should smoke them on this bait. But I'm gonna try one more. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're close. I can't say until I look at footage. You guys have watched it or jump back and try to watch it, and you guys, you know, you'll see for yourselves. But I would call that right where that, like I mentioned, right where that first makes its turn. You can see it does another little wiggle at the edge of the bank. And it's almost straight out from that. That one is almost too close to call. If I have to give the edge, I really can't. I really can't give an edge. I want to say this reel, the Zillion, but I can't. I can't say the Zillion. I can't say the Shimano either. I can't say, yeah, the Shimano you can clearly see was further. It looks so close. All right, now could I possibly turn this brakes down? Possibility. I'm not going to. I told you it's to set it and forget it. It casts everything. That 2 gram works perfect at 3, so I don't want to have to come out here and set it at 2 to get more of my fishable, because that's fishable distance. With, you know, I should mention, this is the 803, I guess I did, but which is medium heavy rating. And we just threw that little 4, you know, under 5 gram bait quite a ways. I would call that, I don't know, probably 65, closer to 70 feet. Let's see what this guy, if you remember, this guy almost hit the bank, like a foot away from the bank, right? Remember, straight out here, I tried it over there, and the wind kind of catches it too much. Okay, so he slowed down. Let me try that again. I could almost feel the brakes slowing down. What's funny, if that Shimano beats this thing out on the water, but then in the, uh-oh. Ooh, I got grass. Let's try it again. I'm gonna put something into it now. Yep, if I had to call that, you guys saw it, it was, or no, wait. That was a foot away from the bank. This was 5 foot. Okay, I'm losing my mind. Yeah, it wasn't a foot. So that, man, is that gonna be even too? I mean, you guys will be able to see the footage. That's why I'm using this bank. It's not just me out here making my own, you know, like, oh, I'm calling it. So that, one more right at that tree. Give it a little more line. Yep, look at that. That cast, the other two were probably not quite as far as the Shimano. That cast was probably a touch further, but about 5 foot away from that bank. So freaking close. I called it in the other video. I threw, I didn't throw these baits. I threw a jerk bait. And the one cast, the Shimano got like a crazy distance, but I couldn't like duplicate it. It got an awesome cast. And so it probably was a little further, but, you know, and watch the video on that but I called them even on those 1/2 ounce baits. Like I couldn't tell from my vantage point which one was actually working better than the other one. And guess what? I'm so far 2 baits in and I can't tell. I think they're both fully capable. I know somebody wants a winner, but I mean, you guys, you saw where it landed. You guys tell me. As far as a good, capable, all around, set it and forget it. That SV boost versus the MGL. Now here is where I think, and I'm hoping, and I'm pretty sure that I know it did a couple days ago, that this bait should beat the Aldebaran. But if you remember right, I'm throwing at that tree. The other one, it was kind of a couple foot. The wind, I actually cast out. I didn't intend to, but I cast out and the wind blew it back. So I'm going to try to duplicate that cast again. And we were just a foot away from the bank. I could feel me pulling this rattle trap, but that's how shallow it is. We're about a foot away from the bank. It stuck in the mud after it hit the water. So here we go. Nope, I cast too far to the, I stopped it. I cast too far to the right. I actually stopped it. It would have hit the bank, but it's not where it needs to be. So hang on. The wind didn't blow it. I think it was the same angle cast, but the wind blowing it. Come on. This is the extra high gear. All right. Did it again. Same thing. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Do you guys see that? I would call that almost identical. Now, I'll tell you, I'm giving you guys spoilers. If you haven't watched that other video, go watch it. But I spooled this thing, but we were throwing like into the wind. Or no, sorry, with the wind. And it was a stronger wind. We're throwing kind of at an angle of the wind today. But I spooled this line. And if you guys aren't familiar with all the other tests, this is a mount a line that the Aldebaran holds. That's how much line I put on it. I actually spooled up the Aldebaran and then switched it to this, transferred it to this, then I spooled up the Aldebaran with the blue. All right, one more cast, aiming for that bank. Ooh, stuck it. Definitely, because we were a few foot down and I didn't spool it, and I'm gonna probably have to see where we're at, and I'm stuck in that mud. See that line's tight? I'm stuck. So if you remember, I had a couple feet. So this I call, when you get into those heavier baits, I call this the winner, and I'm just going to tell you why. Oh, ooh, no, I don't have no fish. I'm just playing. I think when you get to the broad spectrum of things, I threw the 2 gram bait, this wins. I had to adjust the Shimano to get there. I set them out today for this shootout. I honestly think that even going back and reviewing the footage, it's hard to get a clear, definite winner. The little, once you get into that, say 1/8 ounce up to past the hat, probably 5/8 ounce, I think they're going to be so close that you can't really, say one just is way better than the other. But then once you go to this bait, once you go to this, the extreme, if you're wanting a reel to cross more, or you're going to put it on, say you're going to put it on this rod and then jump it around to different rods, I definitely recommend this one. Now if you want, hang on a second, I'm done. I call that a winner. If you want to watch the video when I had wind at my back, casting both of them, I spooled this one. I could not get the Aldebaran to spool it. It was casting a long ways, but this thing, I swear, was going like 10 or 15 feet further, not just a few feet. So I'm going to come back. We'll do the LingL, and then I'm going to give you my final thoughts. Whew, all right, let's get this video over with. Now, if this LingL jumps out here and smokes both of these reels, I'm going to be upset. Just for the fact, not that, it's nice that I own the LingL and all that, but I spent a lot of money on those other 2 reels. Now, they'll have purposes and all that, but if this reel right here, and it should technically, I think, should definitely smoke them on this. Now, I don't know if I've ever had the LingL on a medium heavy. I've had on some medium rods. That's kind of what the Tatula is that it's on. So anyway, if you remember right, we're thinking we're kind of even, but right out at where the point, kind of first cuts in there, straight across from there is where this bait was making it. Why did I put my thumb on it? I stopped it right when it hit the water, I think. So it spooled up, sounded awesome, but I don't think it got any further. Do you guys think it got any further than the other 2? I think it got as far, but I don't think it got any further. Let me try cast up a little bit. Hang on, we got some weight, we're cheating. I just like the way this is with the Roro bearings, but just the stock bearings too. This thing kind of has that woo, like it just spools up. Sounds cool, casts good. I like it. Whoa, 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 backlight. Whoa, oh, whoa, whoa. I liked it a little too much right there. I'm gonna leave this in if I can get it. Try to show you guys how to get these out. You got to look for one of these chunks of braid cross streams, and you don't want to cross streams if you guys are familiar with Ghostbusters. Bad when that happens. So I'm going to try to, oh, I almost had it, pick it out real quick. And that's what happens when sometimes you cast too hard and you got them set on the verge. Whoa, there's a fish over here working. But as you see me talking about that right there, I got it out. Now the LingL, I thought I might have a little too much line on. I'm tempted because I don't need that much, but if it's one of these reels that's capable of throwing, you know, bigger baits and I need more, and we're getting ready to find out, but I kind of normally, I wouldn't like to run this much line on it. Anyway, that cast sucked. I'm not going to blame the reel, I'm going to blame me. I just put too much, too hard, too fast, too much. And I cast down again. That cast wasn't quite as far. I'm trying too hard. But what I thought would win, I don't think it, on this bait, I don't think it did. And that's just where it likes it. And it's, I would call it, I don't think it's casting this little bait as far as those other two other two reels, which is depressing, the fact that it's a BFS spool. Okay, there, I don't know. I call it right there too. That should, now it's kind of hindered. I guess you're, you know, once you're throwing this small a bait on a, even though the NRX rods are good on the 803. But yeah, you're a letdown, LingL. Don't worry, I still love you. But I would have thought that would have like easily beat those other non-BFS reels, spools, by more than that. By, you know, would have beat them by like 5 to 10 feet. But we might be in that weight range, like, you know, 4 or 5 grams, where it doesn't really make a huge difference. It's all a matter of lightweight spool, and, you know, your brake system, and how well your spool bearings are. Which these are good. The Roro spool bearings are in this. It's not stock, which I like the stock spool bearings anyway. So let's see if this guy can get 5 foot away from that bank without backlashing. Got a good cast. I heard it. Spool up. Not quite. Look at all that line. So. And this is the same line, 10-pound bleeder, 10-pound braid. Actually came off the same brand new spool that the Zillion line, same line. And as you can see, it's 10-pound braid. That is all that, whoa, LingL. It's about all the line it can hold. So let's see, it's going to spool. Once I throw that other deal, it's going to spool it. You guys will see that. Oh, go. It's just short. It's honestly disappointing for the LingL, not for the fact that my Zillion, oh, I thought I had a fish. That grass is deceiving. I'm going to do one more cast, and then we're going to the big dog, which is going to just spool it. I don't even think the LingL will hold enough line to get to where these other two can cast to. So as far as, that was a good cast. Okay, that cast, I'll have to call it definitely ties, or possibly could have beat the others, but not by enough to really, like, it's right there. The LingL's a caster. This thing will, you hear it spool up like it, zing, it's going for it. It's going for the fences. There's a bunch of grass right there. I'm bound determined to hook another fish. Hopefully it's bigger than that first one you guys saw in the beginning of this video. All right, I really don't even want to throw it because I know, oh, there's the little bitty guys out here buzzing around. I'm gonna fish today. It is 11, almost 11:30. And I think we have a winner. I'm gonna cast this, and then I'm gonna do a final, what I think. And I guess I'm not totally let down, but I'm kind of let down on the ability of this reel with that little bait. I might have to put this LingL up against the Zillion in that 2 gram. You guys comment below if you want to see this LingL versus the Zillion SVTW Boost spool, basically. The LingL spool versus the Daiwa SV Boost spool. Do you guys 2 grams, 16th ounce crappie jig with the jig? You guys want to see that battle? If the line breaks, I'm pretty sure it'll float enough. I'll have to buzz out and we'll catch the line. I'll tie it back on and I'll be able to fish it today. But I'm aiming for that tree. Final little shot. Whoa. I honestly think this would get right there with them. The downfall of this, you can't throw big baits very far. So let me, ooh, hit grass again. Whoa, I got something. Oh man, it's big. Whoa, oh, it's huge. It's gigantic. Oh my God, somebody call Mike Iaconelli. Oh, did the LingL impress me? Now, where would you guys put these reels? Where do you guys think the LingL went? Now, money-wise, the LingL can get you kind of close. It's a good reel. But for this little video that I did here today, I think, let me get down here. Let me get on my knees and pray for a bass today. And while I'm doing that, I'll tell you guys what I think. All right, we saw the shootout, right? I think, honestly, 3rd place, I got to go to the LingL. Just for the fact, it does not have the spool capacity to be that full all around. Perfect for BFS, the money, 79 bucks. Usually can get it cheaper. So it leaves these guys, the true all around. They can go down there and touch into that BFS. They can jump way up, throw them 3/4 ounce baits, throw the 1/2 ounce baits, throw 1/4, 3/8, 1/2 ounce, actually 1/8 ounce, capable. They'll get the job done. You know, in a pinch, they will work. Will you want to go out and throw trout magnets with them for a living? No. But I have to give 1st place to this guy right here. 2nd place, right there. What do you guys think? And just for the facts of the test results, that's the shootout. That's why I give this one 1st place. Now this is awesome reel. And any of you that are just watching this video and don't really know a lot about these reels, I'll just tell you real quick. Definitely lighter, smaller, compact feeling when you're palming it. Awesome reel. The MGL stuff, it's legit. It can cast very well. But the Zillion, that SV Boost, I think they've actually found something that makes it either for sure equal on all fronts or a little bit better across the broad spectrum of bait sizes. But why I like this better than the Aldebaran, now I still like the BFS XG the best, but I like this better than the MGL or the old Aldebaran 50 is the fact of the versatility of this. Not only with this spool, the fact they make other spools, all the old Daiwa TDZ spools will fit. I think most of the old Zillion spools, there's a few things that won't. No, your Tatula spool won't fit because it's got a long shaft. This is short shaft. But then there's also all the other upgrades. All of your, and you can technically put any Daiwa star. Any star drag that will fit Daiwa will fit on this. They make a bunch. Shimano's, and that's the downside to Shimano's in my opinion. And you've heard the reel test commented on it several times. Shimano, and Daiwa does too, but not as much as Shimano. They engineer in differences to where you can't switch out spools. You can't, some of the drags don't even interchange. Like some of the Metaniums and Aldebarans, the drag stars will not interchange. All the handles will. And you technically can put any of these 80 millimeter bigger, or not 80 millimeter, but 8x5 to fit on a 7.4. They make little spacers, so that's not a huge deal. But as far as spools and just little stuff, there's not a ton of stuff out there that interchanges. And as of right now, I don't think there's a cheap, affordable spool that will fit this. You can get some Avail and different ones that do different things, but it's very expensive. But I also give the nod to the Daiwas in general. The spool ability to interchange, switch out, all the little upgradable stuff, aftermarket, whether it be from Hedgehog Studios, which is very expensive, or AliExpress carries a lot of stuff too. And you've noted the reel test, when he did his review, he talked about you know, and I like that, which they did. Maybe they did copy off Shimano, maybe whatever. I mean, the LingL's a copy of Shimano and Daiwa, and it's an awesome reel. I'm not a big fan of knocking a company that, because technically, did they copy, or is that a knockoff? Did they try to market that as a Steez? No, they're selling you a purpose-built BFS reel that copied basically everybody's technology out in the market today, right? To some extent. I mean, look at analog brakes on your cars. Everything's got analog brakes, four-wheel disc. Somebody had to do it first. I know there's laws and, you know, patents, and the patent, you know, has a 10, 15 year window, all that kind of stuff, but I'm not going into all that. I'm not a lawyer. Somebody's probably going to sue me for just saying that. Oh my goodness. Anyway, there's your winner. Thanks for watching, guys. Go out and get yourself a Zillion. I honestly thought you let me down, LingL. As I get out of here, you guys let me know if you want to see a shootout between these two guys. 2 gram bait. This guy should smoke this guy in 2 grams. This guy already smoked the Aldebaran. All right, guys, get out of here. Thanks for watching. Be looking forward to the fishing after Christmas video to see if I caught anything. If you don't see that video, that means I didn't catch anything. At least I got this shootout video in. Whoo! I can feel my fingers, and I wish I couldn't because they freaking burn. All right, guys, thanks for watching.